Does hell really exist? What the Bible actually says. For centuries, few ideas have inspired more fear than the idea of hell, a place of eternal fire, endless suffering, a punishment that never ends. Paintings, movies, sermons, and religious traditions have all helped shape a terrifying image of what awaits the wicked after death. But here's a question that has divided believers for generations. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Or have millions of people misunderstood one of the most important subjects in Scripture? Tonight, we're going deep into one of the most controversial debates in Christianity. We'll examine what the Bible actually says about hell, where the idea of eternal torment came from, and why many Christians believe the traditional view may not be what the Scriptures teach. Let's begin. When most people hear the word hell, they imagine a place of fire where the wicked are tortured forever. But something interesting happens when we go back to the original biblical languages. Many older Bible translations use the word hell to translate the Hebrew word Sheol and the Greek word Hades. The question is, what do those words actually mean? According to the Bible, Sheol and Hades refer to the realm of the dead, the grave, or a symbolic place where the dead rest. In Ecclesiastes 9:10, we read that there is no work, planning, knowledge, or wisdom in the grave. That description doesn't sound like a place filled with screams, suffering, and conscious torment. Instead, it describes a condition of complete unconsciousness. The Bible repeatedly compares death to sleep. When Jesus spoke about his friend Lazarus, he said that Lazarus was sleeping. Only later did he explain that Lazarus had died. Why would death be compared to sleep if the dead were fully conscious and experiencing either pleasure or torment? This leads to another important question. If hell is a place of eternal torture, why does the Bible repeatedly say that the punishment for sin is death? Romans 6:23 states, "The wages of sin is death." Notice what the verse says. Death, not eternal torture, not endless suffering. Death. According to this line of reasoning, God's judgment results in the loss of life itself. Supporters of this view point to the account of Adam. When God warned Adam about disobedience, he said that Adam would die. After Adam sinned, God declared, "You are dust, and to dust you shall return." No mention was made of eternal torment. The punishment was death, a return to the dust from which humanity was created. But what about one of the most famous passages used to defend the traditional concept of hell, the story of the rich man and Lazarus? At first glance, the account appears to describe a conscious existence after death. However, many Bible students point out that Jesus frequently taught through parables, stories designed to communicate moral lessons rather than literal descriptions of reality. If the rich man and Lazarus is a parable, then the details may not be intended as a geographical map of the afterlife. Instead, the story may be illustrating spiritual truths about humility, wealth, judgment, and responsiveness to God's message. This debate continues among Christians today, but the discussion doesn't end there. Another common teaching suggests that hell represents eternal separation from God. Yet those who reject the traditional view argue that the Bible consistently describes the dead as unconscious. Psalm 146 says that when a person dies, their thoughts perish. Ecclesiastes says the dead know nothing. If the dead are unconscious, can they actively experience separation from God? This question remains at the center of the debate. Now consider something even more surprising. The Bible records multiple individuals who died and later returned to life through resurrection. These accounts may include Lazarus and several others. What is remarkable is that none of them reported experiencing fiery torment. None returned describing endless suffering. None spoke about being tortured in a place of fire. Instead, their silence is often cited as evidence that death is a state of unconsciousness, similar to deep sleep. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this discussion involves the words that are translated as hell. The Bible actually uses several different terms: Sheol, Hades, Gehenna, Tartarus, and others. Each has a different meaning. Sheol and Hades generally refer to the grave or the realm of the dead. Gehenna is often associated with destruction and judgment. Tartarus refers to the degraded condition of rebellious spiritual beings. Yet over centuries, many of these terms became merged into a single concept: hell. This has led some scholars and believers to argue that important distinctions were lost in translation. And that brings us to one of the most controversial parts of this entire subject. Where did the idea of eternal fiery torment originate? Some historians point out that concepts resembling a fiery underworld existed long before Christianity. Ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians, described places of punishment involving fire. Later, Greek philosophical ideas also influenced religious thought throughout the ancient world. As Christianity spread across the Roman Empire, some scholars argue that certain philosophical concepts gradually became intertwined with theological teachings. The result may have been a view of hell that was influenced not only by scripture, but also by cultural traditions and philosophical ideas. Whether one agrees with that conclusion or not, the historical debate is undeniable. For centuries, Christians have wrestled with these questions, and they continue to do so today. So where does all of this leave us? Does hell exist? The answer depends on what we mean by the word hell. If hell means the grave, the place where the dead rest awaiting resurrection, then the Bible certainly speaks about it. If hell means a place of eternal conscious torment, many Christians believe the scriptures do not support that idea. Others strongly disagree and maintain that eternal punishment remains a biblical teaching. The debate continues. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: instead of relying solely on tradition, fear, or popular opinion, every believer should examine the scriptures carefully. Because when it comes to questions as important as life, death, judgment, and eternity, what matters most is not what we've heard, it's what the Bible actually says. And that is why this question has divided believers for centuries, and why it continues to divide them today. What do you think? Does the Bible teach eternal torment, or does it teach something entirely different? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring the Bible's most controversial questions, subscribe to Divided by Scripture.